Good morning, race fans. We are back on Sassy. As you may recall, we had a big crash this past June. Frame was a little out of whack. We got that fixed at Mike's Frame Shop in New Jersey. Thank you, Mike. The front end, which took most of the brunt, kind of got twisted up. As you can see, that's just a hanger now. So we got another front end we're going to be working with. It's a 2-inch over. And also, one of the things that got damaged was the front wheel. Wasn't that bad, but bad enough you don't want to use it for racing. This is a 19-inch K model early Sportster up to 1963, 19-inch wheel. That's what I prefer. So what we're going to do, we're going to break this down, and we're going to lace up a new XL Buchanan's rim. So all early Harley Davidson wheels have 40 spokes. This particular wheel has 20 long and 20 short. So we're going to check the angle once we got this in the right direction. And as you can see, the long one is pretty much dead on, good enough. And the short one is about the same. Okay, so I'm going to go around the wheel, various places, and recheck. That's one thing that you should do before you start tearing things apart, like I said, and you know you got the right stuff to work with. So this rim is pretty much identical to the early Sportster rim, but one thing you want to do whenever possible is compare spoke angles just to make sure everything's going to be correct before you go tearing things apart. So I got to set this down for a minute as my apprentice isn't with me today. She's off learning things in the medical field, but she'll be back shortly. I'm going to lay this rim down on top of the Sportster rim. And what we want to do is line up the air valve holes. The next thing I do before disassembly, I check the offset with a straight edge. Take it across that side of the hub, and you measure the distance between the straight edge and the flange of the rim. You do that on both sides. In this case, they're both the same, like 11/16. Now, the three basic tools I use for this whole process is, of course, a spoke wrench, a screwdriver, and a wheel truing stand. Another thing I use is the shop manual. Helps you along if you got any trouble. That's what made so many Harley experts out there. Okay, so I got the wheel laced up, and I'm satisfied that it's laced correctly. So the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to take each spoke nipple off one at a time and lube the threads on the spoke. If you don't do this, the threads will gall, and that'll ruin the spoke. After that's done, we're going to snug them up, get the rim pretty concentric to the hub, and then once it's snugged up, I'm going to take a drive to each spoke head, hold still, to each spoke head and give it a tap, every one of them. If you don't do that, they might not be seated, and once you get it tightened up, they could come loose again. Once that's done, we'll work on the radial run out and the sideways run out. I'll use a gauge for that. We got the wheel perfectly centered onto the hub. We got the spokes torqued down. I just go by hand feel. I go pretty tight on them because they like to settle into the rim and the hub. And Buchanan suggests for heavy bikes to go use a gauge and go up to like 80 inch-pounds. But I never had a problem. I did going by feel. But we got the radial run out under 15 thousandths, and we got the sideways run out, you can see here, under 5 thousandths. That's really good, actually. It's a nice rim, nice straight rim, runs nice and straight. So good job, Buchanan, and Sassy's got a new wheel.